together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us. And remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Sober Saturday. Man, I thought I got that the right place. I did not. Oh, I'll fix it in a minute. I'll fix it after this. Well, it was over here, and you couldn't see it. So I moved it. But you can see where it's crooked. You can see this part's a little too forward. Yeah, I need to move that back. Because I had to set it up to where you see how it, like now it's, everything kind of surrounds my head and everything. It looks like a full room, but it's not. It's all an illusion. For my Doug Henning fans out there, it's all an illusion. The blue's an illusion. I even did a little satin finish, so I got that little light up there, right? So that I have like this. Yeah, just a trick I learned a few years back. I learned it on accident, but I learned it. You guys have all your food. Do you just want attention from Dad today? I don't blame you. I'm kind of a cool dude. Morning, Amber. Morning, Michelle. Feeling better today. It's kind of a rough week. Just things going on, wife being out of town. Did get some good news yesterday. The uncle who had cancer, they're going to be able to take care of it. So, yeah. Still got one other thing. Wife's out of town. Her dad's on it. Yeah, it's always hard to tell. But, so. That's what's going on. Here's the pole that the flag came on. Okay. It is now a cat beater. I'm kidding. It's not even hard enough to. Well, that did kind of hurt. A little slappity slap. Slap, slap, slap. Slappity slap, slap. All right. Hope you're having a good day. It's Saturday. There's no football worth watching this weekend. So. Got a free weekend ahead of me. I don't really plan on doing anything today, honestly. I know I have to meet with a sponsee. I have to go grocery shopping, but just regular life stuff. All right, I said I was going to start sharing my wins. Yesterday, I got a call from Community Reach Center. Dion, got a person over here. They're 16. They want help. They're on meth, and they need a detox. That was not an easy one, but we got it taken care of. Now, first place I called East Metro Detox. Now, I know you guys don't take people, you don't take minors. I know that. Do you know who does? See, they didn't know. This is where we start to have a little bit of a problem. They should know. That is an absolute question so I called a couple more places. Nobody really knew. And then I'm like, somebody brought up, did you try Children's Hospital? I'm like, there we go. That's what okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So I called Children's Hospital and asked, and they're like, yes, definitely bring her down. This will be the better location for it. We will help her with getting off the meth, and then we have resources. So they might be able to help her get into treatment or outpatient or intensive outpatient or something. This girl, she doesn't know me. So what did I do? I called all those places back and I told them how we're going to work it, how we're going to do that. And they're like, thank you so much. And when I was talking to her, I'm like, this is exactly what I do. If you have questions, I'm the person that you need to call. And why did this happen? this happened because I decided to stop by the crisis center after the 2 o'clock meeting on Wednesday. That's why it happened. They said, you were the first person we thought of. I'm like, that's exactly what you should do. I am the first person you should think of. And then you need to go beyond that and then dial the phone. I didn't say that part. But some people tell me that, this came up and I thought of you. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Did you bring up my name? Did you say something? Thank you, Michelle. So, see, we've got to challenge ourselves. We've got to do things. All right. In fact, before we really get started, in today's If You Have Courage to Change, the courage to change today was about helping somebody without even letting them know. That's what happened to me yesterday. And it happens to me daily. Yet I'm here at home for the most part, but I have to be available, right? So those are the things that happen in my life consistently. I'm not going to say constantly, but I will say consistently. All right. Hold on. Okay. No, I got, you get those little mini hiccups. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. All right. You know what time it is, and this is where I'm going to have some music. Bump, 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 dump. Yeah. Let's see if we can have some Here we go. There we go. You know what time? No, that doesn't work, right? It's almost got to be like rock and roll. Got to be rock and roll. R&B, lounge, lo-fi, chill pop, down tempo, chill. How about just some rock and roll? All right. We'll try one other. It does not know what it's doing. Let's get to the jokes. You know what time it is. Oh, all right. We're going to do some recovery jokes. These are hit and miss. I mean, they're all right. I'm back. Sorry about that. It thinks, yeah, here we go again, Restream. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Restream, they were telling me, yeah, we don't give people refunds. I got one yesterday. Actually, they gave me a free month. That's good enough. And I told them that's what I was going for. It's only $20, but it isn't about the $20. It's about doing the right thing. And if they're because they were like, well, it was this fault and that fault outside of Restream. And I said, but I buy your product and your job is to make sure that it works well. That's what I pay you for. I don't care that it's an outside thing. It's affecting mine. And that's what matters to me. All right. And I utilize the fact that I help people out and I don't charge money. Then people tend to bend a little bit more. So, yes, I will utilize that. All right, let's get to the jokes. I'm on a new diet, trying to cut down on sugar and fun. This water is practically a cocktail right now. I don't get it. My doctor told me to lay off the booze. Apparently, my liver is an organ you need. God, these just sound sad more than funny. I'm waiting for a funny one here. Okay, we're gonna keep trying. My favorite excuse for not drinking is I'm allergic. I was too good at drinking, so I decided to quit and give someone else a chance at the title. These jokes suck. Let's go to 12step.com and do some. Okay. Why did the accountant do so well in AA? He was already a friend of Bill's. That was funny. That was good. All right. Why aren't people in recovery good dancers? They lose interest after 12 steps. Yeah. That was a good one. That one's these are like long ones. I just go for the short ones. Man, these are really long. All right, that's good enough for today. Thank you everybody for being here. You don't need to laugh at that just because I'm leaving, folks. All right, let's get to today's stuff. Did it? What's love got to do? Got to do. I guess it kind of did, huh? The classic one that I played. Huh. Good catch. Lo- love me. Love me some. Uh, I want to call her Tina Ford because it's Lena Ford and Tina Turner. It's just right. Lena Turner, not Tina Turner. Right. All right. We're gonna be in the 12 by 12 page 65 today. That's where we're gonna go. We're gonna talk about character building and how we utilize character building as a way when we understand that character building and humility can combine. We've got some things going on. Page 65. Page 65. All right. And we're in step 6. Right. All right. Well, I am going to let's see. Let's just go ahead and start on page 65 where it wanted us and not push the envelope today. I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of happy. Check this out because I don't know what happened. I think it's the shadow ban on Instagram. It's actually brought my numbers up. I'm actually kind of excited about this. Because on average, let's see, man, my numbers they're going way up. What in the heck? Something happened. All right. Yesterday I did 380 on one video. I was averaging around 70. Now all my stuff is above 100. Something happened. Well, thank you, Shadow Ban. Thank you, Instagram, for stepping up. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm glad to see that that's getting out there. All right. Page 65 in the 12 by 12. It is nowhere evident, at least in this life, that our Creator expects us to fully eliminate our instinctual drives. Huh. I have plenty of instinctual drives that I still use. Sure, I do. I did it yesterday. Anytime we're helping somebody out, when we are getting out of ourselves, that is part of our instinctual drives. What are some of the other ones that are probably not as good? Like, when advocating turns into anger, that might be one. Some of our instinctual drives. What are some of the other ones? Well, we all have sex drives, right? Some, and that's entirely up to you. It's about understanding that there's other people involved in this. See, when it came to sex, it was all about me. Drinking and sex, they go hand in hand for me still to this day. So far as we know, it's nowhere on record that God has completely removed from any human being all his natural drives. Yeah, all my natural drives they didn't just disappear, right? Because if God just took everything, what would I have left to work on? I need skin in the game here, man. God's just not, oh, yeah, you're right. I'll just go ahead and remove that. Yeah, I'll do that. There's a challenge contained in all of this that keeps us striving, right? And not all your instincts are bad. I'm sorry, your instinctual drives. It's a little different, right? What are instinctual drives? They are the things that that uh, that go with your survival, right? It's going on right now. Everybody is so scared that nobody's going to be eating. Yeah, there's a big fear of it right now. Who knows what's actually going on with it? I don't believe any of them. All I know is there ain't money on my Snap card yet. So therefore, today I may need to get a little more inventive on how I eat. I might have to think a little bit more. Rice goes a long way, my friends. It does. So do noodles, cheese. Okay. All right. Since most of us are born with an abundance of natural desires, it isn't strange that we often let these far exceed their intended purpose. When they drive us blindly, or we willfully demand that they supply us with more satisfactions or pleasures than are possible or due us, that is the point at which we depart from the degree of perfection that God wishes for us here on earth. That is the measure of our character defects, or, if you wish, of our sins. Right? So when we demand more satisfaction, now I'm going to tell you something. When you demand more than, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to grow up, you're going to get later in life, and you're going to find that the small things no longer bring you pleasure. I, it's been a while since I got excited about anything because it's not new to me. I'll sit down and watch a TV show. I can appreciate a show that fools me. I love watching a TV show or a movie that I didn't guess and that I was right. And it doesn't happen that often. I almost always know what's going to happen next in a show. I usually know what they're going to say next. I've seen it a million times. It's a pattern to me. Right? So be careful with that. Don't use it all up. Or you're going to end up like me, searching for things in life that bring you pleasure. It's a tough one. Right? If we ask, God will certainly forgive our derelictions. There's forgiveness. There's the forgiveness. I've been hearing this a lot lately. I wish the people that love me would forgive me. That's a tough one, and I know exactly how they feel. I've been in that position, and I'm glad I'm not there anymore. I'll say that. Now, I don't really want to push that, do I? Or what I'm doing is I'm taking pleasure in the fact that somebody does not have something that I am receiving yet. Okay. But if you give it time, do people always come back? Unfortunately, no. But I will tell you this, the ones that need to be in your life will. Just the other day, my sister showed up here. I haven't talked to her in a while. Right? Actually, we've never really been close yet. I didn't even know she lived until like 10 years ago. I didn't even know she existed. Right? And we're talking, it's just slowly. She's a Virgo too. She actually reminds me of me. Actually, she's older, so I guess I remind her of her and give her that one. And you know, and all of these brothers and sisters are older than me. When it comes to it, I'm actually the young one in that one. Anyway, but in no case does he render us white as snow and keep us that way without our cooperation. Now, that line is going to mess with a lot of alcoholics because this is what they're going to hear. But in no case does he render us white as snow. Yes, he does. And keep us that way without our cooperation. Is it going to be that way 24 hours a day? No. What we're going to get is glimpses. We're going to have moments. We're going to have experiences. That's where that comes in. You'll have moments of sublime where even though everything's going on, it's just all right. That's what we're trying to get to. Right? Forgiving, resentments, and all these things that we do, let go, let God, confront the problem, these things. It is also that we can have a happier day. That's why we do it. Because when we have that attitude, we are automatically good to other people. You don't need to think about being a good person, do you? Well, maybe in the beginning you did. I did. I had to like go out of my way. I did. Right? It was kind of like opposite. There was a Seinfeld where George decided that instead of picking up on girls the way he did, he was going to do the complete opposite. And he became the complete opposite of himself. And suddenly He was dating all these girls. He got a job with the Yankees, because he changed how he was approaching things. And it was self-confidence. Now, of course, it's Seinfeld, so he abused it, but right? That is something that we are supposed to be willing to work towards ourselves, and there it is. He asks that we only try the best we know how to make progress in the building of character. So, what are we doing? Well, we're going to continuously ask ourselves why. You need to be that 4-year-old that's curious about the entire world and how everything works. Why? Why? Why am I feeling this way? Okay. Why am I did it? And when you run out of whys, what you've done is you've now gotten down to the cause and condition of what is actually going on at that moment, because it's the only thing that counts. Right now is the only thing that counts. God, that went real well, even with the colors and everything. It even kind of matches the curtains. So I told you I see everything. You probably already noticed it. All right. And then he asks that we just do the best that we know how. What does that? What does it mean? I'm gonna let you off the hook on some things. It means you're naive. What does naive mean? It means you just don't know yet. That's all it means. It means you have not given, like like when I talk about recovery coaches, right? I think I think the people that wanted to be recovery coaches, they've got a great heart, but they were taught wrong. So if they are still naive, they aren't wrong, they're naive. Well, I'm naive too about a lot of things, aren't I? There's a lot of things in this world that I have not experienced. And I found that experience is criterion over education. Yeah. Like I just read something, ADHDers also have like blah, blah, blah. And it was just a total lie. I know, because I have ADHD. And that shit doesn't happen. And I've looked into it. I ain't doing nothing about it. I've I've accepted it, but I haven't. That's not true. I have worked on it. They wanted me to do pills, and yeah, it didn't work. No, the way they made me feel, I was too elated. I'm like, my heart's going too fast. No, so I'm not on anything for it. Instead, I go to therapy and I regulate my emotions. I'm not always the best at it, but I do my best to regulate my emotions. What do? I ask why. Sometimes it gets to be a little too much. Yeah. I've probably said the angry man's prayer this week more this week than I have in a while. All right. Okay. So step 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, is AA's way of stating the best possible attitude one can take in order to make a beginning on this lifetime job. Yes. So what are we asking from you? A good attitude. We're asking you to be happy. We're asking you to enjoy your day. Oh no. God forbid that we do or say something that might make your life better. Oh no, right? The best that you could do that day. The other day, my best was steps 1, 2, and 3. And that was fine too. That was okay. Okay. You got to give yourself permission sometimes to just be okay. Sure, all this is going on, but why should I have a bad day? Okay. This happened at work. Well, I'm not at work right now. Why am I still thinking about it? I'm really good at letting people live rent free in my head for no reason. I'm really good at that. Right. And something I'm usually working on. So the best possible attitude. This does not mean that we expect all our character defects to be lifted out of us as the drive to drink was. Okay, the drive to drink was not to me, in my opinion, was not a character defect. It does not fall into character defects. That was an addiction. It was a solution, a bad solution that turned into a dissolution because it dissolved everything good in my life. And that's literally what alcohol does. It breaks things down. It's why we use it as a cleaning agent. It's why we use it as poison. All right. I don't know if you're around for this point, but at one point they used to say 1 glass of wine a day gives you a healthy heart. Most of us knew it was bullshit then, but a lot of people utilized it as an excuse to drink. They knew. They knew. No, it was just another way to get you to drink. Alcohol kills more people than anything else in this world. Alcoholic or not. So the drive to drink to me was not a character defect. If for you it works that way, awesome. It's going to work either way. Either way, it was expelled, and that's what matters, right? What we think of it really doesn't matter. But I do know whether you feel like it's a character defect or not. These other ones, like you're angry, oh, you're never going to be angry again. You're never going to be depressed, sad. Then you're never going to feel happy because you can't have happiness without sadness. You can't have peace without anger. You have to be angry to find peace, or you don't need to find it because you already have it. All right. A few of them may be, but with most of them, we shall have to be content with patient improvement. The key words entirely ready underline the fact that they want to aim at the very best we know or can learn. How many of us have this degree of readiness? And why is my phone does that all the time? How many of us have this degree of readiness? In an absolute sense, practically nobody has it. The best we can do with all honesty that we can summon is to try and have it. Even the best of us will discover to our dismay that there is always a sticking point on which we say, no, I cannot give this up. You want to know what mine was? My personal time. Yep, I still get that way. You call me after 9 o'clock, 8, 9 o'clock, I'm not answering. And if you call more than once, it better be a fucking emergency. Because I'm going to pick up the phone and go, what? It's my time. I'll probably be better than that. But it better be an emergency. Right? See, I still go through it. But I need it. I need my decompression. So I try and do it at a point in the day when people most likely will not be contacting me. Right? Anyway, I'm not as mean as I'm making it sound. I'm just trying to have fun here. Right? And we shall often tread on even more dangerous ground when we cry, this I will never give up. Such is the power of our instincts to overreach themselves. No matter how far we have progressed, desires will always be found which oppose the grace of God. Yeah, and what is that? It is this discovery. You're finding out who you are. And isn't that what we're going for here? Because I want you to be who you are. An alcoholic cannot go around unless they have alcohol, then they can pull it off. But you can't go around being fake when you ain't got it. Won't work. You will be angry a lot. And I know because I've been there. Called a dry drunk. And it's worse. So what we can't do is get to a point where we say, I will never give this up. No, I refuse to do that. We have got to stand ready to be willing to do anything. Yep. All right. Some who feel they have done well may dispute this, so let's try and think through a little further. Practically everybody wishes to be rid of his most glaring and destructive handicap. No one wants to be so proud that he is scorned as a braggart, nor so greedy he is labeled a thief. No one wants to be angry enough to murder, lustful enough to rape, gluttonous enough to ruin his health. No one wants to be agonized by the chronic pain of envy or to be paralyzed by sloth. Of course, most human beings don't suffer these defects at these rock bottom levels. Okay? Most human beings. We are not most human beings. That's part of the problem. We take everything and we go to the extreme. That's why recovery is set up the way that it is. It allows you to go to an extreme in a healthy manner because we're going to do it. It is a matter of if or not we're going to do it. We are. So recovery is set up so that you can maintain it. And that's what it is. Okay. I have actually every single mental illness I have has maintenance stuff to it. And I have to do it every day. Thankfully, it is also the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay. So when I do steps 10, 11, and 12, it also works on my PTSD, my anxiety, my depression, and my ADHD. It also helps that. Yes. And I don't even agree that I have all that. I just don't. But, the more I add on, the more disability I'm going to get. It's just a form of denial that I don't want to. I like stemming. I enjoy it. I get a kick out of it. I don't want a drug to take it away. I was on Cymbalta, okay, which is an SSRI, I believe. It's either RI or DI. Whichever one is the really one to hard get off of, right? And I was on that. I was on it for years. And it took away my weirdness also. And I don't want to be real. I didn't, because that's my creative side. I have a creative side. Like what I did with the walls and decorating stuff. This is not abnormal. This is easy stuff for me to do. When I was on Cymbalta, I would have never been able to pull this off. I wouldn't have been able to think of it. Right? I want that weirdness. I am a weird guy. It's something I enjoy. It's something that attracts people and things like that. Right? So it attracts the people I want to hang out with anyway. We who have escaped these extremes are apt to congratulate ourselves. Yet can we? Yes, you can. Just don't break your arm doing it. You can congratulate yourself. Absolutely. That's part of self-worth, self-esteem. But you cannot when you do it, there's got to be humility involved. Good job. And thank you, God, for letting me do it. There you go. Well, after all, hasn't it been self-interest, pure and simple, that has enabled most of us to escape? Not much spiritual effort is involving in avoiding excesses, which will bring us punishment anyway. But when we face up to the less violent aspects of these very same defects, then where do we stand? Oh, that's not a big one. Don't determine size. It's not about size. It's the reaction. It's what is happening. Okay. Now, it may not be big to you, but maybe you're going to do something that will really affect your partner. Then where do you stand on it? All right. What we must recognize now is that we exult in some of our defects. Been watching it this week. We really love them. Who, for example, doesn't like to feel just a little superior to the next fellow or even quite a lot superior? Oh man, the way that I did this is I would correct you. I would correct you. And I still have a hard time. I call a spade a spade. Right? There's a place called Recover Colorado, and they put out some great information. They really do. And they're saying November is Men's Mental Health Month. And where I say, thanks, Amber, you really threw me off. That would say, Amber says size doesn't matter. All right. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, that we like to exult in some of these, right? And Recover Colorado. And I wrote, hey, I'm all for men's mental health. I practice it every day. I'm a big fan, but Men's Mental Health Month is in June. Because it is. What's this need to correct? And in the grand scheme of things, what does it matter? Is it true that we like to let greed masquerade as ambition? Hmm. Yeah, you two laugh about that stuff over there. I'm not saying it out loud. Amber says, but it does. So I guess size does matter. Why does it feel like we're not talking about character defects at the moment? Why does it feel that way? Why does Dion feel a little uncomfortable at the present moment, Amber? To think, oh, great, now we're going to start getting to talk about sex right here. All right. To think of liking lust seems impossible. But how many men and women speak love with their lips and believe what they say so they can hide it lust in a dark corner of their minds? And even while staying within conventional bounds, many people have to admit that their imaginary sex excursions are all apt to be all dressed up as dreams of romance. I thought it was romance. I was wrong. I didn't know. I didn't know. I would have to say they are reading my mail right there. All right. Self-righteous anger also can be very enjoyable. In a perverse way, we can actually take satisfaction from the fact that many people annoy us, for it brings a comfortable feeling of superiority. I have a shirt I wore a couple weeks ago. It says, I used to be a people person, but people ruined it. There are people in my life that they're like, yeah, Dion hates people. I don't really, and here's the thing, I don't hate people. I don't. Okay. Overwhelming would be a better word. Sometimes I go somewhere and if people are talking and being fake, I feel it and it starts to weigh me down. That's why I like AA because at least the amount of bullshit is lessened. Yeah, right? I don't hate people, but I do allow them to overwhelm me in social situations sometimes. And that's where that comes from, right? Sometimes I say I'm peopled out, but that doesn't mean I'm necessarily mad at somebody. It just means that there's a lot of feelings out there and I'm tired of feeling them and I need to get away from it. So, gossip barred with our anger, a polite form of murder by character assassination has its satisfactions for us too. Here we are not trying to help those we criticize, we are trying to proclaim our own righteousness. And you are going to run into this sometimes. Every now and again, you're going to run into that, not just on your side, but on other sides. What I would recommend is talk to a closed mouth friend, find out the right path to go about it. So, all right, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And